You clicked on this video because the title said something about winter dog care mistakes you don't even know you're making. And you were like, oh crap, am I making dog winter mistakes? Heck, it's winter. I don't want my dog suffering in winter. Are they too cold? I need to know how to keep dogs warm. And now you're Googling things like how to tell if your dog is cold. Okay, hold on, take a breath. If you're worried you're doing winter wrong for your dog, relax. Here's the first thing you need to know that will probably shock the socks off of you, but be ready to grab them because it is winter, as we've established, and you probably want those critters to keep your toesies warm, right? Anyway, ready? Most winter dog mistakes aren't about keeping dogs warm. I know, shocker. That's what everyone thinks. Winter, cold, must make fire. Okay, so wrap your head around that one. I'll wait. I mean, yeah, we all want to make sure we're warm enough, but that's not likely where your misunderstandings and mistakes are being made. And here's your next question. If it's not about watching out for signs your dog is cold, then what is it? Okay, here you go. First off, you're looking for answers to the wrong question. It's not actually about the thermostat, as you will soon see. Stick with me because near the end I've got a surprise for you. And if you love learning how they respond to us and think and dog behavior explained, be sure to subscribe. So let's dive in. First off, winter doesn't just make dogs colder. It makes them quieter. And that's where most dog owners get it wrong, because when winter arrives, we start asking the wrong questions. We ask Google things like how to know if your dog is feeling cold. But the real question is, what is my dog trying to tell me differently right now? If you've ever wondered whether your dog is actually comfortable in winter, if you've noticed small changes in their behavior and brushed them off as normal winter stuff, or if you're worried you might be missing something important without realizing it, you're not alone, and you're not doing anything wrong. Here's the mistake most owners don't realize they're making. Winter changes how dogs communicate. And humans keep interpreting those changes using your summer logic. Dogs don't suddenly become lazy. They don't become moody. They don't just sleep more because it's cold. What they're doing, they're adapting. They conserve. They compensate. And when we misread those adaptations, that's where discomfort quietly stacks up. Let's start with the most obvious place everyone focuses and why it's not the real issue. Number one, the thermostat misunderstanding. Most people assume winter dog care starts with temperature. You turn the heat down at night, your dog curls up a little bit tighter, and you think they're fine. They have fur. But when dogs seek out heat vents, sunny spots, or press themselves against warm surfaces, they're not just cold. They're communicating regulation stress. And let me just explain that in normal, everyday human language. Regulation stress just means this. Your dog's body is working harder than usual to stay balanced. Not freezing, not overheating, just comfortable enough to function. Dogs don't have hoodies. They don't grab blankets. They can't say, hey, this room temperature feels weird. So instead, they position themselves. Here's what that looks like in real life. Every morning, same dog walks past their bed, past their couch, past you calling their name, and parks themselves in the exact same square of sunlight on the floor. They don't stretch, they don't drink water yet, they don't ask to go outside, they just sit there. To us, it looks all cozy, like, oh, look at them, they're enjoying the sun. But to the dog, the warmth becomes a priority override. They're choosing warmth over thirst, warmth over movement, warmth over other basic body signals. Winter sunlight creates sharp temperature differences, hot in one spot, cool everywhere else. Dogs feel those swings more than we do. They don't complain, they just endure. So when an owner says, my dog just really loves that sunny spot, what the dog is actually saying is, this is the only place my body feels settled right now. And when dogs rely on only one heat source, they move less, which leads directly into the next winter mistake. If you've noticed your dog moving slower in the mornings, hang on. The next one explains why. Number 2, movement drops, and we call it laziness. In winter, walks get shorter, schedules shift, daylight disappears. Dogs move less, and owners interpret it as seasonal calm. But movement isn't just exercise for dogs. It's joint lubrication, it's circulation, it's emotional regulation, it's how their bodies stay organized. Think of movement like shaking a snow globe. When you stop shaking it, everything settles, and not always in a good way. Here's a simple example. Imagine a 2-year-old Cocker Spaniel named Milo. All spring and summer, Milo gets 2 solid walks a day, and he sniffs everything. He trots instead of strolling, he plays fetch in the yard, and then winter hits. The walks get rushed. Sometimes they even get skipped. Fetch turns into maybe later. Now at night, Milo starts pacing. He licks his paws. He follows you from room to room like a fuzzy little shadow. The owner thinks, he's bored. But winter boredom isn't about entertainment. It's about the disrupted rhythm. Movement helps dogs digest their food and regulate mood and burn off stress hormones. When that movement disappears, dogs don't relax. They internalize energy. For young dogs, that shows up as restlessness. For older dogs, it shows up as stiffness. And stiffness leads dogs to spend more time in one place, especially warm places, which brings us to where dogs spend most of winter. Number 3, sleeping spots that look fine, but really aren't. Many owners move dog beds in winter. Mark and Joanne did. They had a 10-year-old lab mix named Pumpkin. Pumpkin's bed used to be in the living room, warm, carpeted, near the family, but in winter, muddy paws became a thing. So they moved Pumpkin's bed to the mudroom. Out of the way, easier to clean, problem solved, right? Except the mudroom had tile floors, and a drafty door, and colder air that settled there overnight. Pumpkin didn't cry. She didn't protest. She just started getting up slower, walking stiffer, pausing before standing. Mark and Joanne just assumed, she's getting older. And yes, she was. But winter magnified what was already there. Dogs sleeping on cold surfaces don't shiver dramatically. They tense. And that tension prevents deep rest. So when dogs feel stiff, they start seeking artificial warmth, which leads to another well-meaning mistake. Number 4, the heated bed trap. Heated beds feel like love, and in moderation they help. Alex thought he had the perfect solution for his senior dog, Lolly. A plush, heated bed right by the couch, always warm, and Lolly loved it, so much that she barely left it. She drank less, she stretched less, she stopped pacing. Alex thought, great, she's comfortable. At Lolly's next vet visit, something unexpected came up, and the vet said, I think we missed this earlier because she looked so comfortable. The constant warmth had masked the discomfort. Dogs naturally move between warm and cool spots to regulate themselves, to regulate their temperature. When one spot becomes too comfortable, dogs stop moving as much. They may even stop moving entirely. The warmth can hide symptoms. Hidden symptoms delay care because you don't even notice them. But even dogs who aren't glued to their heated beds experience another winter stressor most owners never even think about. Number 5, dry air and the silent dehydration loop. Winter heating dries out everything. Skin, airways, noses. Dogs already drink less when it's cold because they're not panting as much. You add in dry air and hydration drops quietly. Owners don't notice until noses crack, stools harden, energy dips. Dogs don't think, I should drink more water. They just adjust until systems strain. That's why vets see more urinary and digestive issues in the winter. And dehydration makes dogs more sensitive to something else winter creates. Number 6, static shocks and anticipatory stress. Winter static feels like nothing to us. To dogs, it's unpredictable pain. One zap from a metal bowl, another from a blanket, another from your hand. After a few shocks, dogs hesitate. They pause before eating. They flinch before being touched. Owners say, they're acting weird. But the dog is learning, that thing, it hurts sometimes. That anticipation creates anxiety. The fix is simple. Humidity, ceramic bowls, natural fibers, but stress doesn't stop there. Number 7, scent overload in closed homes. Brian loved winter candles, pine, cinnamon, peppermint, but his dog Rocket started acting up. He avoided the living room, he paced at night, he sniffed and sneezed more. Brian thought Rocket was anxious. Rocket was actually overwhelmed. Winter traps scents indoors. Dogs process airborne chemicals differently than humans do. Strong smells don't knock dogs over, they wear them down. And that stress compounds when routines shift. Number 8, routine shifts and emotional confusion. Winter changes everything. Wake-up times, walk times, household noise. Dogs thrive on predictability. When routine shifts, dogs seek reassurance, not correction. Some become clingier, some withdraw. Neither is misbehavior, it's adaptation. Owners often respond by giving more space, exactly when dogs need more presence, which leads to one of the most subtle winter mistakes. Number 9, less touch, less reassurance. Think about it. Bulky clothes, cold hands, busy schedules. Winter reduces casual touch without anyone noticing. But touch regulates a dog's nervous system. It lowers their stress hormones and reinforces safety. 5 extra minutes of calm contact can reset a dog's emotional state. They don't need constant stimulation. They need consistent connection. And number 10, assuming dogs just adjust. Dogs endure. They adapt. They compensate. But adapting is not thriving. Winter stacks all these small stressors: movement loss, dry air, misread signals, emotional distance. By spring, some dogs emerge stiffer, more anxious, and less engaged. And owners think, winter was hard. But dogs think, I needed some help. The truth is, though, winter dog care isn't about turning up the heat. It's about noticing all these quieter signals. Your dog isn't being lazy. They aren't being needy. They aren't acting off. They're just communicating differently. And none of this means that you failed your dog. Most winter mistakes come from love, not neglect. Awareness just changes everything. A warmer sleeping spot, a little bit more movement, some fresh water, a calm touch. Small changes can prevent months of silent strain for your dog. Okay, I promised you a surprise. Here it is. What kind of dog loves winter sports? A chilly dog. How about that? Share that joke with a friend. Or, if you think it was bad, share it with an enemy. See you next time. FurEver.